hides behind family names, and truth is forced to whisper. One woman refuses to be silent. Advocate Anjali Awasthi is not a courtroom celebrity. She is a storm in human form, a defender of the weak, and a light that refuses to be snuffed out. Her battles are never clean or simple. They are messy, painful, and personal because the enemies she faces sit at the tables of the people she once trusted. This is a story of love tangled with law, of manipulation dressed as loyalty, and of a single voice rising to break the silence. Stay with me, because these are the chapters that test her courage and forge her into a legend. Things spiral out of control when Anjali confronts Amon with a fierce, controlled anger. The room tightens around her words as she exposes truths that many would rather leave buried. Later, Gaurav learns from Amon a bewildering fact. He never knew he was standing against Anjali in the court that now decides so much. That revelation unravels assumption after assumption and leaves everyone wondering how easily trust can be broken. Jenny, who once stood by familiar comforts, pleads with Anjali not to cut Amon out entirely, to remember the softer map of their shared past. But Raghav moves in the shadows, a poisoner of minds, stirring doubt in Amon and setting the stage for deeper betrayal. Schemes fold and refold like a deck of marked cards. Chandraban, with a practiced grin and a lawyer's patience, lays traps to trip Anjali in the courtroom. His words are honey laced with barbs. His questions designed to turn truth into testimony that favors the guilty. Reporters press Amon with ruthless curiosity about his connection to Ginny, and the glare of cameras forces private wounds into public view. When Anjali speaks out about family misdeeds, she does it not for drama, but for justice. And the Rajput household trembles as accusations of domestic violence come to light. A family built on status now faces the slow collapse of its reputation, and the air tastes like fear. Then comes the violence disguised as coincidence. On the way to a meeting, Anjali is set upon by goons, a moment intended to intimidate, to teach silence. For a breath, the world tastes like metal and adrenaline. Rumor circles. Did Amon send them? When he sternly confronts Bhajan, demanding answers, the truth spills in a way that stings. Amon had not sent the men. Anjali realizes the terrible mistake of suspicion. A heavy guilt presses at her chest. She is a woman who fights for others, and the knowledge that she misjudged someone she once loved makes every victory bitter. Kavya's arrival complicates tenderness and trust. She visits Amon and tests the temperature of his heart, probing about what Anjali may still mean to him. Meanwhile, the press drills into Anjali over why she didn't file an affidavit after the attack. The public wants clear, clean proofs, but life rarely offers such simplicity. In the household, Gaurav finally confronts Raghav for forcing Ginny out, and in that clash of family honor, Anjali finds a photograph that pierces her. Amon and Kavya together, smiling in a way she remembers from better days. The photo is a small, dull knife, personal and devastating, but she turns that pain into resolve. If love cannot be her compass now, justice will. Courtroom rows become battlefields of character. Anjali vows to protect Ginny's marriage, to safeguard a woman whose life others are trying to fragment. Amon, in a moment intended to shock, questions Ginny's legitimacy in the marriage, and the courtroom murmurs like a sleeping thing stirred awake. Yet Anjali stands steady. She knows the stakes are more than legalities. They are about dignity, about shielding someone from a tide of shame. Beneath the visible drama, darker plans unspool. Yuvraj moves like a spider, quietly plotting mischief. Abhay reveals a handkerchief to Raghav, a simple cloth that contains Anjali's secret words, and secrets begin to hiss like a kettle. Sapna, furious and wound-tight, blames Anjali for the chaos she believes has wrecked Ginny's life. Ganesh, cautious and concerned, urges Aman to step back, to let worn relations mend. But at the police station, truths are twisted and words are weapons. Anjali accuses Aman of planning the attack on her, a claim that forces everyone to reevaluate loyalties. In private, Aman confesses his lingering love for Anjali. But love here is not a bridge. It is an added complication that Raghav twists into a reason to press the case harder. When Bhajan's plot escalates into Ginny's kidnapping, the town's fear turns to raw panic. Sapna weeps, and Anjali's face hardens into purpose. She refuses to wait for justice to trickle down. She moves swift and single-minded, outrunning bureaucracy and anger. She confronts the Rajput doorway, brandishing accusation like a torch. And when Abhay denies knowledge, she grabs him in a raw moment of fury that nearly crosses the line. Aman intervenes, steady hand between two storms, their fraught connection a living, complicated thing that neither fully understands but both cannot ignore. Following leads, Anjali and Pankaj track the case to Babu, a frightened man who crumbles under pressure and reveals Bhajan's name as the orchestrator. The labyrinth of lies starts to show a map. Bhajan's shock becomes confession when the evidence pinches him. Jivan, a hired hand, tells his portion of the story, and the police begin to line up the charges. Aman and Anjali, once on opposite sides, now find a fragile alliance. The grudging cooperation between them is not romance restored. It is a recognition of shared goals and the simple human need to save someone from harm. Abhay listens to Ginny's voice message, an intimate echo of love, and breaks as the weight of his mistakes falls on him. Meanwhile, Anjali orchestrates a rescue like a general, mocking the goons' bravado, luring them into their own arrogance, then freeing Ginny from the small cell they had made of her life. The city exhales, the Rajput house recoils. Anjali, who learned to fight in the rubble of smaller violences, knows this victory is a turning point, but it will never be the final one in the wake of rescue. Demands for dignity are loud and necessary. Anjali insists Abhay apply sindoor to Ginny, not out of spectacle, but to reclaim a woman's honor before those who try to steal it. The gesture is quiet and fierce. It anchors Ginny back into her life with a community's witness. But enemies remain. Yuvraj's reach extends, and he sends men to strike at Anjali. She fends him off with the same grit she brings to the bench, her hands and face carrying stories of bruises and relentless refusal. Each blow she takes, each insult she turns into fuel, becomes part of a ledger of courage. When Anjali slaps Yuvraj, the slap is more than a physical rebuke. It is a rupture in the armor of entitlement. Later, she implores Padma to see the truth, to put aside fear and help bring the darker deeds of Chandraban and Yuvraj into the light. The family, which once hid behind ceremony and reputation, now finds its misdeeds called out by a woman who refuses to be silenced. As Yuvraj's manipulations grow desperate, Mihek stands at the brink, torn between the comfort of a groomed smile and the slow dawning that truth may cost her everything. Anjali's defiance becomes theatrical at times, meant to wake people from complacency. She orders Pradeep to dress Yuvraj in a sari, a symbolic humiliation that sends a message. Power obtained through cruelty can be stripped and shown for what it is. Raghav, furious, insists Mihek must trust the arranged path others set for her, while Anjali fights to show that love built on lies is the worst kind of captivity. Crowds gather, opinions harden, and the drama that was once confined to drawing rooms spills into streets and whispers. As wedding invitations are prepared, and the Rajputs move to formalize what has been set in motion, Anjali refuses to step aside. When called to deliver the invitation, she stands in front of Chandraban's house and vows to stop the marriage. That vow is not a theatrical flourish. It's a lifeline thrown to Mehek, a chance to choose truth instead of comfort. She rescues Padma from men who would use violence to silence truth, and she challenges Yuvraj in an arm wrestle to deflate his arrogance. A public, physical act that exposes the ridiculousness of his bravado and emboldens the watchers. They mock her. They call her stubborn, but in the mockery, they show their fear. For every insult hurled at Anjali, someone in the crowd remembers a small wrong, a quiet suffering. Aman steps in, standing by her in the face of scorn. His presence is not romance's tidy return. It is proof that sometimes alliances are forged in the crucible of shared danger. Prakash derides her and predicts failure, but Anjali's steady smile is a quiet dare. Let truth come, and let chance be judged fairly. Anjali's story is not a tidy tale of victory or defeat. It is the ongoing testament to what happens when one person chooses to speak when everyone else stays silent. She has walked through intimidation, misunderstanding, violence, and grief, and every step has been a choice to rise. Her battles show us that justice is messy, courage is costly, and love is complicated. But most of all, they remind us one relentless voice can change a community, can unmask the powerful, and can protect the vulnerable. If this journey moved you, if Anjali's defiance stirred something in your chest, then stay with her. Subscribe now, because the next chapter is coming, and it promises more truth, more heartbreak, and more moments that will make your heart race. Like this video, share it with someone who believes in justice, and comment below which moment made you stand up for Anjali. Together, we keep the light alive.